The other thing that happened during the pandemic was a explosion of social audio, right? So Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces and all these things. These have persisted to some degree, but Clubhouse maybe not so much. Twitter Spaces maybe doing a little bit better. A lot of folks were like, "Is this the end of podcasting? This is incredible!" Like this engaging experience of kind of being there live in the moment. As it turns out, Red Circle was actually out raising money at the time, and all the VCs that we were talking to were saying, "Hey, is podcasting over? Is like Clubhouse going to take over?" And my answer to that was like, no. I mean, this thing is 15 years old as it is, and there's 40% of American adults listening to a podcast every month. This thing isn't going anywhere. And over the last couple of years, I think that's played out in terms of continued growth in podcasting and a sharp decline in how many folks are using social audio.
Yeah, I don't think that Clubhouse may be the final form of that, or Twitter Spaces. And I think Twitter has actually devalued showing Spaces at this point. So they're not even really promoting it as much as they were. I'm still on Clubhouse, and I have weekly discussions on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern all about the power of sound. But I do that as an addendum to my podcast, because my podcast is released on the same morning. So it's released on Wednesday mornings, and I have the Clubhouse discussion later on. And we talk about sometimes what I was talking about in the podcast, and sometimes just other things having to do with sound. And I think that the interest is still there, and Clubhouse is, I think they're retaining the people who are the diehard fans.
Right.
They're still there. I think the people that were testing it out and playing around with it, I think are going elsewhere. And there's not one format that's perfect for everybody. So I think that's just fine. But I don't think that it was ever meant to take over podcasts. I think it was meant to be another addition to, or a way for people to connect on a one-to-one basis in the real time, as opposed to listening to a podcast, which is a very passive medium. Right? Like the whole point of that's why it's hard to know who's listening, because no one's going to talk to you.
Right.